Hello and welcome back. So in the last video, we looked at how you can be able to add items to the cart here. And you can see right now we have one item here. And when you click on this remove here, you'll be able to remove that item from the cart. Also, if I come back to this home page right here and look one of the product here, I can be able to add it in the cart. So let me, for example, choose this product here and then add to the cart, and you can see product has been added to basket successfully. You can call it basket or you can call it the cart, the way you want, and you can see that item has been added here. So also you can remove the product like that, and also add another one, or you can do whatever you want, and also you can clear cart here. So now what we have been left with is to proceed to checkout, and we need, when you click on this button here, you'll be able to be redirected to checkout page where you'll be able to pay using your card using Stripe. So in this video we are using Stripe, and also I have already opened documentation right here for the for this Stripe payment, and I'm going to add this link to this documentation in the description of this video, so that also you can go through it and be able to understand what you are going to do. So also we are going to look at webhooks, and so that we can be able to receive the events once the payment has been done, so that we can be able to know if the payment was completed, or we can be able also to understand if the payment was cancelled by the user or the customer. So that's what we are going to do. If I click on the home page here, also you'll be able to see activities. So now let's get into the video and start coding our application. So now what we are going to do, if you check here, and if you have ever used Stripe, you know that Stripe has a pre-built checkout page where you can be able to use their pre-built checkout page, and you can see here an example of their pre-built checkout page. So if I click on this, you can be able to see how pre-built checkout can look like. For example, you can see this one here is simple, and also the other thing is that you can be able to customize it the how you want. So for example, also here they can be able to show you like the low code here, and several things here how you need to do it, and you don't need to write any code for this pre-built custom page for Stripe. So what I'm going to do here is to go through this documentation with you so that you can understand. And this one here, you can see the step one that you need to do is to install Stripe. So I'm going to come up here in my code, and in my backend I need to install Stripe. So I'm going to navigate to backend. So backend, and let me see, yeah, backend, and then here I'm going to install Stripe. So I'm going to add here npm install Stripe, because I'm going to need Stripe to make payment, and this one is required when we want to at least redirect customer to that Stripe pre-built page. I don't know why it's hanging here, but it's taking time, and we are not going to concern with that. And here you can see redirect customer to Stripe checkout, and this code we are not going to use, or we are not going to even bother with it. And now the other thing is this is the code also that you need to add in your backend, but because have a custom backend, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use my own custom made or my own code, but it is similar to this one. We are just going through it. And the other thing that I want you to notice here is that we have this placeholders URLs here, which is for example, we have success URL here, and we have cancelled URL. So when the payment is successful, then you can redirect customer to this page here. So for example, you can have a page in your front end where you have a success page where you'll be able to redirect that customer, and also you can have where when customer cancels that payment, then they will be redirected to a certain page here. So that is also something that I wanted you to notice. Another thing is that you can show success page that we have talked about. And also the other thing that I want you to understand is that right now we are not using like a production ready Stripe. You can see here it's just we are using testing data, but when you are comfortable, when you have already actually made all of your, or you have made all of your the testing that you wanted, now you can proceed. For mine, you can see here I need to complete my profile. I also need to provide business details so that they can be able to verify me and I can go to production with Stripe. But I don't need that right now, because right now I'm just going to show you how to use Stripe in order to make payment. So another thing is that, let's go here back to the documentation. You can see here they have even given you a card to test. So for example, this card, which is 4242 and until here, so that is a testing card. And another thing, also you can see here many other things. For example, when you want to add discount, this is when you want to add shipping and also add discount in the pre-built page. That is, so you can click on this to know how you can add shipping details. So right here you can see how you need to add. But in this case, let's see if the Stripe has already been installed in my backend. And you can see here it has been installed. I'm going to clear this. And another thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to close on this front end here, because I'm not going to need to anything from it. So here where I have routes here, I'm going to create a page that is called stripe.js, like that. And here I'm going to add the code. So if you come up here where we have accept payment, you can choose if you are using web, you are using iOS or Android or anything. But in this case, because we are using web, we are going to use web. And you can scroll up to here. After creating a checkout session, redirect your customer to the URL returning the response. So you can see here we have this backend here where you need to call a post on this create checkout session here, and then you can pass in the details of what you are selling. For example, here you can see this is a t-shirt, unit amount is 2000, the quantity here. And the good thing with Stripe is that they will be able to calculate your total automatically. So let's do that. Of course, I have already added my code. So what I'm going to do is just to paste my code, and also we are going to go through my code and understand it. So let me paste my code here. So I have this code. Yeah, you can see my code right here. It's a little bit modified, and this is because I don't want to just go through it and just code, because it's same thing. Like you'll be able to understand. Actually, it's not like something that you not be able to understand. So they can see the first thing is that I'm going to import Express. I'm importing Stripe. Already you have seen that I have already actually, you can see already I have installed Stripe. Also, you can see here that I have imported .env. I have done .env config. For the order here, we are going to use this order here from the model. For the order, this is after we have actually verified that payment was complete, so that we can save to the database. So here, let me make sure that it's it's this order.model, and then make sure you add this extension.js, because we are using module here. So you can see here we have cut. Actually, I have skipped. So you need here also to initialize Stripe, and you are initializing Stripe and then add Stripe key. So that right now I've not added Stripe key. Let me see if I have added it. So you can see here we don't have Stripe key. So what I'm going to do is copy this. So we need to have this Stripe key here, and we are going to get this Stripe key from Stripe. So I'm going to come up here. and I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to add the key here. So where are we getting this key? So this key we are going to get from our dashboard, and here you can see that I have already an account with Stripe. So if you don't have an account with Stripe, make sure that you have signed up in the Stripe and then get your account. You can start testing it. So after that, you need to come up here to developers, and when you click on developers, you can also navigate to APIs here, and you need this secret key, and this is the one that you are going to use. So I'm going to click on reveal test key, and here I can be able to click and copy it. I'm going to come up here also and paste it like that. So this is my key. You need to also to create your account so that you can go to developers and get your key. So here you can see that we have added that, and now here you can see we have a router.post, and then you can see we are posting to this create and then hyphen checkout session. And then after here we are creating customer. So we are creating customer from Stripe customers, and then we can add metadata, for example user ID, and this user ID we are getting it from request.body.user_id, and this is from our front end. So another thing that I want right here is to show you that after that you can see you need to have these line items here. So these line items here are the products that you are actually sending from the front end. So that's why you can see we are using request.body, and then under the body we are actually sending the cart. We are going to send the cart, and inside the cart we have products, and then we map or we loop through getting the product, and then we can show here, we can for example show the currency. Right now I'm using USD, and also you can add things like product title, product image, description. This will be shown in the pre-built checkout page, which will be made by Stripe. Also you can see here unit amount, and you can see here this unit amount is because it will be shown in cents, and that's why you can see we are multiplying with 100. So also here it's a quantity will be we are going to get from product.quantity. So another thing is after that you can see now we include line items here, and these are our products here. So another thing is that you inside here, for example after Stripe checkout session, and then we create a session, you can see you can add customer, and under customer I'm adding this ID here. For the line items, these are the product here, mode it's payments, and then success URL here, you can see these are success URL here. So these I'm going to get them from process.env.client URL. So I'm going to copy this, and this is add them in the .env here. So after that I can add this, and here I can add the URL for my front end right here. So I'm going to come up here, and for this one I can just copy this here. I want the base URL for my front end, and I can come back here and paste this. For the cart here, now this will be just base URL, so I'm just going to paste it the way it is. But when you go to production, you'll just add your domain right here. So that is the base URL. And you can see when it is successful, I'm redirecting the customers to orders, or this one should be my orders, because in this case I have only my orders page. I don't have orders route. That is, I have my orders route. So I have cart page. When it is when the customer cancels, they are being redirected to cart. And then here you can see after everything I'm sending this URL, and this URL is the one that we are going to use in our front end to know where we are directing the user. So that is it. Now that is the first part, and this is to create a payment. So what I'm going to do now is to make sure that I have added the route for I've added the route. So I'm going to come up here and I can create another route for Stripe. So for the Stripe, you have noticed that you are not using actually the controller. So I'm going to paste this here. And this one I'm going to add here as Stripe route, like that. And then here this one will just be, I can see here is we are using Stripe. Let me see. So this is just a Stripe and JS, not Stripe.route. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove route because I've named it differently, but you can name it stripe.route.js. But in this case, I'm going to just copy it like that. And then here, also I'm going to copy this and paste it here. For this case here, I'm going to have a Stripe. So this is Stripe here. And this one, I'm going to accept Stripe route like that. And then I can save that. So this is my code here. So now what I'm going to do right now is that I want us to see if we can get the that pre-built checkout and we can be able to make payment. So I'm going to first of all come here to my backend. So yeah, I have my backend here. So where is my backend? Yeah, it's right here. So I can close this, or let me just come up here and then I can clear this, and then I can say index.js to restart my, actually you can see here I have an error and I don't know where this error is coming from. So yeah, you can see here stripe.js does not provide an export and non-named default. So what we are going to do is something that I have forgot and which is very important. So let me actually make sure that I add that export default router. So here down we need to export this like that. So that is the error that we are getting. So after that, now let me restart now again. So you can see it is restarting my backend. So also I need to just make sure that this one I have pushed it down. So now let's come here to the cart where we have this button for checkout. So for the checkout here, I'm going to create a function here. So on click here, let me have on click like that, and then here we can have handle payment, or let me just call it handle checkout like that. And I can copy this and we can be able to create a function up here. So where is that function? So here we have let me just come here and we can add that. So paste it here and then like that. Then this is a function that we are going to call once we want to create a payment. So and then like that. So now in this function, I'm going also to paste the code here. I don't want to make a lot of typing. In this case, I'm going to just use the code that I had used earlier. So and then I'm going to explain, because that's something that you'll be able to understand very easily. So I'm going to paste it here. So like that. Also, I need to make sure that here I have a sync keyword, so that here we can call our backend, and you can see in our backend here we are calling this Stripe and then checkout and then session. And this is because if you check here, you can see this is create checkout session here, and if you come up here you can be able to see it is a Stripe. So that's what we are doing. So here let me also make sure that I have user request if I have not imported it. So because here I've not imported it, let me import So I'm going to import. So I'm going to import from now what we are calling, let me just come here to request methods like that, and then here I can import user requests. So user request like that, so that we can use it to make a payment. So now that is okay. Now let's try and make a payment. So I'm going to come up to my application here. Let me go back and try and add another product to my cart. So here we have our product. Which product do I want to add? So I can add this one here. So let me add to the cart like that, and then I want you now to come here to the cart, and you're going to notice something. So I'm going to click on proceed to checkout. So click that. So and then you can see here we don't have anything happening. So that means maybe we have an error or something. I don't know why I have that. So let me make sure that here in the cart, actually we are calling this function. So handle on click here, we are going to handle, we are clicking handle checkout. So to debug this also, I'm going to come up here, and so let me come up here and I'm going to the network, proceed to the network here, and I can try and make requests. So here I don't see if I'm making any request, so that means maybe this button is not clickable. And to make sure that it's clickable, we can debug by adding actually I can see here what is this error. So user is not defined, yeah, and that is because here in my checkout I have added actually I have not actually explained very well what you are doing right here. So here I'm making request, and then we are actually sending the cart. The cart entails the products and then the quantity and all that. And then here we are sending the user. And right now, because we have not logged in, I'm going to just make sure here that I am going to just add any ID. So for example, I'm going to add ID like that. For the email here, I'm going to add John Doe. So John Doe here at gmail.com. So or I can just add my ID. Let me just add my ID. So my email. So also here for the name, I can add John Doe. So let me add John Doe like that. And then, so now we have eliminated that error. Now let's see if this will work now. So when I click on this proceed to the cart here, let me see if I've also saved so that it reloads. Yeah. So let me come here and click on proceed to checkout. So this one, you can see it is redirecting us to Stripe checkout here. So after some times, you'll be able to see products will be actually be displayed here. So it has redirected us, and you can see we can be able to make payment here. So you can see my product have been passed here, and also this other product, and you can see also here we are actually passing in the price, and also we are actually also giving, also here you can see I'm actually passing the description. And this is because when I make the request, so I'm passing in the cart, the user ID, the email, and the name here. And on the other side here, on the Stripe backend here, the other thing that you are doing is that we are actually receiving the data. And you can see here we are getting this user ID from the we are getting this user ID here, we are getting the email here, we are getting the name, and also we are getting the cart. And here you can see that we are looping through, so we are getting the cart and then products, then we loop through, and then we are displaying the product, the title, the image here, the description, and then the metadata here. And then now you can see where we are placing these line items, which are our products. So that is the first part that I wanted to show you on how to make sure that we are getting this pre-built checkout here. And here you can also pay using Google Pay, but in this case I can add my email. So let me add my email like that, gmail.com. I can be able to add the test card. So 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, like that. Yeah, I can add any future date. So for example, 12:33. I can add any CVC, which is I can add, for example, something like that. Full name, I can add my name here, and my region, and also I can click on pay here. So when I click on pay here, it should, if the payment is complete, it should be redirect me to my orders. So click on if you click here, you can see it is processing. So it's processing for the payment, and you can see once it is successful, now we are directed to this page where we have the products, and it's simple as that. So that is something that I wanted to show you. So here you can see that we have made a payment, and let's go to the dashboard and see if that payment has been recorded. So I can click on here, and I think you can see, yeah, you can see, for example, the payment that have been added. I think I can see balances. So if I come here, we'll be able to come here to the transaction also. Let's see if there is any transaction. Yeah, you can see we have transactions that have been made right now. You can see it is have succeeded. You can see the email. You can see the payment method was this card. You can see even the description here, and many other things. You can export this. So yeah, that's another thing that you can be able to see. You can see the succeeded, and remember, this is the dashboard right now. This is the dashboard for the for your Stripe your Stripe account. So now the other thing that has been left here is to make sure that we are actually saving the orders to the database, so that we can show the user here, and also we can show the admin, so that also admin can be able to make sure that those orders have been those orders, they have been delivered, or they can change the status. And also you can see here, we need also to make like we can be able to make sure that we can rate this product, so, or any other product that we have, and we can be able to show them here. So that is it. So let's go and look something that is called webhook. So for the webhook, you need to come here to developers. So developers, and then you can come here to webhook, and for the webhook you need to create an event destination here. And right now, because we are not in production, so we are not going to use this add an endpoint here. So we are going to use test to test in a local environment. So to test in a local environment, you need to do various things, and they have given you steps. So the first step that you need to do is to download CLI. So, and this downloading CLI, it will depend on which platform you are in. So for example, in my case here, in the in Linux. So for Linux, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go through how to install the CLI. I need to download from the GitHub, and you can unzip that file. And then for the Stripe here, I'm going to click on the Stripe, and I have already done that. So I'm going to show you. If you are using Mac OS, you can go through also this to be able to have a Stripe in your terminal. And if you're using something else like Windows here, you need to install Scoop. And you can see the Scoop here, you need to install Scoop. Yeah, so that you can be able to use Scoop. For the Docker, the same here, you can be able to actually go through the documentation. So for me, I have already done for the Linux because I'm using Ubuntu. So if I, for example, ls here, you can see I have a Stripe here. So the first thing that when you come here, you need to do is to make sure that you have logged in. So using the Stripe in the terminal. So let me just click here, and I don't know if I will be allowed to log in again because already I have logged in. So I'm going to use Stripe login here, like that. Click on login here, and I can continue. So already I have logged in, so you can see. Yeah, so if you have not logged in, then you'll be able to log into your dashboard and make sure that you have already have account, so that when you click on that Stripe login, you'll be able to be redirected here. And you can see here it is sending me a code so that I can verify. So let me see my email here, the code that they have sent me, so that they can be able to verify it's me. So you can see here is still confirming, but then they need to send the verification. So I'm going to actually, let me come up here and copy my code, this code here, and I can come up here and paste it like that. And you can see continue, allow access, yes, and then I can add my password here, like that. Yeah, and then if you come back to the terminal here, you'll be able to see that it is have succeeded and it's done. But also you can be able to be able to see that it will only last for 90 days here. So another thing now, so let's go back. So we are going through the documentation. So where we were at here. So already we have we have downloaded the CLI, we have Stripe login, and you can see actually it's completed, and you can see even my computer here that has logged in. So here the other thing to do here is to have to actually forward the event to your webhook. So now we have not created our webhook, and we are going to do that right now. So after we have made our checkout here and we have made a payment, we need a way to know that we have, if the payment was complete, so that we can add that payment, or we can be able to create that order in our database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also copy another code for the webhook, and I'm going to explain to you. And this is something that you'll find that most tutorials will not be able to show you, or will not go through this step. So here you can see we have our webhook here. This is another function. So you can see here we had this one for Stripe for create checkout session, but in this case now we have another one for the webhook here, and this webhook here is the one that will be listening for events, and from those events we can be able to know if the payment was complete. And for example, you can see here one of the events that we are reasoning is checkout.session.completed, and then we can get for example stripe.customers, we can get the details that we already actually added in the customers here as a metadata, so we can get them on the webhook here. So I'm going to save this, and also let me reload again my backend. And right now I'm going to explain this once I'm done. So I'm going also to come up here, and I want to make sure that I am forwarding this my webhook here. So to forward your webhook, you need to add it here, like you need to copy this command here. And another thing you can see, for example, this one here, you can actually run this command here, and this command will be able to test if your webhook is able to receive events. So I'm going to come up here and I can paste that command like that. But in this case, because my localhost or my backend here is running on a different port, I'm going to change, and also my endpoint doesn't look like this. So I'm running on port 8800. So I'm going to change that. So this one is 8800. Another thing is API, and then version 1, and then is we have Stripe, so that we have now webhook. And also here we are using /Stripe like that. So it will be able to reason and forward to this here. You can see it's 8800/API/ version 1, and I need to verify that. So I'm going to come here, and you can see is API version 1 Stripe and then webhook. So that is what you need to do. Make sure that you have the correct backend, and then I can click on enter here. You can see it's checking ready, and you can see here actually your web signing secret is right here. So I can copy this like that, and I can click on enter here. So you are already using Stripe version, and your webhook signing secret is this. To quit, you can see if you want to quit, you can click on Control C. Then I can come here to my webhook where we have Stripe. And another thing that I need to do is that I can add this right here. And you can see here I have already commented it, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to paste that here, and I can save that. So right now also let me restart this. I don't know why MERN is not working on my environment, but in your case I don't think you need to. If you're using MERN, there's no need for you to be restarting your backend each and every time you make any change. So you can see here now I can run this command here, and this will let me know if I'm receiving any event. So you can see this is completed, this is also completed, listening for events. So let me run another. So I'm going to click here and open another. I can open another terminal here and paste. And when you're actually designing for the webhook here, and also when you're running this command, don't use VS Code terminal here. I don't know why, but it's not working. So until you use the terminal for your computer, CMD or terminal. So here I can just come here and click done the Stripe here, and then payment intent succeeded. So also if you are on Windows, you not need to do /Stripe here. You will already have a Stripe, so you just call Stripe and then trigger payment intent succeeded. So here I'm going to click this, and it's checking running fixtures, and then trigger succeeded. And then when I come here, you can see it's receiving. You can see here we are getting some events. So right here I have sent an event that is called payment intent succeeded, and on this case also you can see it is receiving that event. So now you can see here we have completed all these parts here. So I want us to just go through the code for the webhook, because I have not explained what I've done. So the first thing that you need to do for the webhook is to verify. And let me just go also back to the documentation. So you can see here, this will be able to explain many other things. Also received events here, you can be able to see received other events here. But the first thing that you need to have is or you'll have is that you'll have to verify. So what I'm doing is that I'm having an error for verifying, and I have already looked at many places like Stack Overflow and many other places, and I have not found any any solution. But I wanted to show you Webhook and how they operate, so that you understand. So that's why even if I had this error, I had to continue and show you how Webhooks works. So here you can see we have this secret here that we have generated in our webhook. And then the other thing is that if you check here, I'm checking if endpoint secret, this one is available, and if it's available, then we go through and verify here. So we call stripe.webhooks and then construct event. We pass in the request.body and signature here. We need to pass the signature, and you can see signature here will be from Stripe headers here, and then Stripe signature. And then you can see the endpoint secret here. So this is the verification part here. And then if you have error, you can see you are going to print webhook error. So here you can see also data. We have data, event, and everything. But now, because I'm not verifying, so this part here, which we don't have now, that means that we don't have this part, so I'm not verifying. So you can see this whole process here is until here it's omitted. Then we just move into here where we have data, which is we are getting data from request.body.data and then object, and then event type we are getting it from request.body.type. And then now down here, this is where now we are just checking. So one thing that I need you to notice is that verification is very important, and if I'm going to get solution, for that error, I'm going to come back and show you, and we are going to uncomment this endpoint secret here so that we can be able to go through this part here for verification, because it's very important. But in this case, because it is testing, and I wanted to show you webhook even before, or even if I don't have like solution for that error, then we are proceeding. So if here you can see I'm checking event type. If event type is equals to checkout.session.completed, that means the payment is complete. And then here we are actually getting stripe.customers, and then retrieve the customer, then asynchronous we get the customer. But here is where we need to get the metadata. But in my case here, if you check, I'm assigning user ID from this here, user ID, email, and the name, the card, you can see. And then I'm storing those items here in these variables. So after that, now I'm coming here, and now I'm using the order model to create an order to my database. That is after the payment is complete, and then I can save that information in my database. So this is not the ideal way of handling the webhook, but for this part here, it's okay for the create session, checkout session. But for this webhook here, where we need to receive payment or to know if the checkout session is complete, then you can this one you need to change and make sure that you are verifying, especially if the application is going to production. So that is it. If I come back here, you can see the event that we triggered using this part here. And also if I do that again here, fixture, then succeed, you come back here, you can see we are getting those events. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to make sure that I make the payment, or I'm I make the payment, and then after that we will be able to see if it will be able to actually save in the database. And also we are going to see that event here in our webhook. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to add another item to the cart. So this time let me add like 5 here, then add to the cart or the basket. I'm going to click here like that. You can see now we have all this. Then we can have proceed to checkout. So you can see I've clicked checkout here. It's redirecting to Stripe, and after redirecting to Stripe right here, so it's running. So you can see 480, and then you can see here also you can pay with the link. So here I'm just going to use my email like that. Another thing is the card. This is a test card. This is not a real card, and you are getting this from Stripe. If you go through the documentation, you'll be able to see that any future date. So for example, let's say 2030, any CVC, I'm going to use that CVC, and then the name here, I'm going to use my name, and then I think Kenya here. Yeah. So now I want you to notice something. So right now you can see here we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 event. Or what I can do to make sure that you see the event that you are getting is that I can start another one here, so that if we get an event here, we'll be able to see it. So now let's proceed and pay. So click on payment here. So it is processing, and you can see here it has frozen my input, and you can see after that I'm redirected to now the orders page here. Thank you for your orders and something of the sort. And then if I come back here, you can see this part here. We have session checkout session completed, and we made this event charge updated and all these things. So if I come back now and to my dashboard here, where is my dashboard here? Oh, let me just come back here. So I have already completed everything here. So if I come back to the transactions here, so you can see the payments that I have already done here. We have done all this payment here. So yeah, you can see how easy it is. So another thing is I want to make sure that I don't have any error. So here I don't have any error, and I want to make sure that those orders have been created to the database. So I'm going to MongoDB and see if I'm getting those orders have been saved to the database. So here can sign in. I can come here and sign. Yeah, and you can see here that in orders here we have this that we have created, and you can see the name is John Doe. We have user ID here to be this one that we had coded, and also this is we have had coded. You can see the products here. The total is 480. The name here, the email, the status is 0. That means it's pending. And if I can click on these products here, the first object is the first email, the first product. The second here is the second product, and we have another one here which is the third product. So that is it I wanted to show you right now. So we have handled the payment. In the next video now we are going to check on how we can display that product, that orders here for the user and also for the admin, and how we can be able to make sure that we are rating the products. So we can be able to rate the products once we actually have that product delivered to us. We can be able to make those rate that product, so that other people can be able to see that product. They can be able to see those ratings, and then those ratings also they will be displayed. Let me just come here. They will be just displayed they will be displayed here. So these ratings here. So that is it. Have a great day. See you on the next video.